Good morning. More news about the Hello Spring Stitch Along. In your pattern, which I just realized we shipped a day early, but there's no mail on Monday, so I'm sorry. It's still gonna be as usual. In your pattern, you have a full layout for the birdhouses. Last night I was thinking about it, that you would probably enjoy, instead of having to freehand your branches, to have them graphically on paper. So I have sent files off to Julie. Julie will put them in the file section on the Facebook page, so you'll be able to find those pictures. And then you can just print them off. You will have graphics that look like this. So you'll have your birdhouse with the tree branches also drawn on, just so you have the layout. Some people don't like to do the free motion or free hand drawing. So you can transfer them using carbon paper. You can transfer them your favorite way. I just kind of like to, maybe we can show them this, Wendy. I like to lay my pattern down when I have a branch, and I will just kind of hold it with my finger, pick it up, and then draw the line, pick it up, draw some more line. Do whatever is your favorite method. So that is one thing that is going to be helpful to you. And the branch for the bird nest is on the page with the pinwheels, because that's where it fits, so you'll be able to print that off. Another thing I want to show you is placement for your birdhouses. We love to use the product called Applefuse Mat, and what you get, okay, here's all my pieces cut out for this birdhouse. So my full layout page, which is turn the right direction if you're using fusible, you lay it under your Applefuse mat, and you can see through it where the placement of all the pieces go. So now I can take, after I peel all my fusible off, I can lay all the pieces looking through the graphic, because I can see the graphic through here, and lay them where they go. I'll try to do this rather quickly. Let's see, there's a roof that goes under here. Here's this section of the roof. And I always want to make sure I'm overlapping where it showed on this page. It shows you what you're overlapping. The post goes under here. Just make sure you're overlapping a little bit. The chimney, you have a little slit that you put in so that it will tuck behind this piece of wool. It just kind of tucks up inside there. And then the chimney will lay down. Well, it's being a pickle right now. There we go. Chimney is laying down. And this has a tackiness to it, so when you lay things down, it just kind of stays where it's supposed to be. Your black cotton that you cut out, these go under your windows, so you have a shadow inside your window. This is this roof. But that really helps you with your placement to make it easy. Got one more little shadow to put under there. So now everything is in place. You have time, you can wiggle things around a little bit. And I just want to check this, put a little tip on it. So now my birdhouse lays out just the way the graphics show. Now I'm going to use steam on my iron. Let it hover so the steam heats the wool. I'm not making contact. And then I set it down. This is my $14 Black & Decker iron. I don't get too worried about what type of iron I'm using. I need to do a little more. So I'm gonna let that cool now. Just a tad. And still feel some warmth under there. So now I can take this whole piece, if I fused it well enough, peel it off, Now this is for one of my staff. I'm using her birdhouse. She's doing a black background. So I can pick this whole birdhouse up, bring it over to where it belongs, which is roughly right there. I had a reference pin there, and now I can fuse it in place onto the background and it will be ready to stitch. So that's very handy tool, the Applique mat. I use it for all my wool applique. It just makes life easy. Another thing I wanted to share with you is in your directions, it talks about this scallop that is on the birdhouse. I guess there's one here. The scallop is stitched. This is 2.5 inches from here to here. It doesn't matter the measurement. I just divided it into 5 scallops. So I took a pencil and just marked with a little pencil a reference line. And to do that scallop is the same as a blanket stitch. Okay, so here's my reference line. So this is where my next scallop will be. Think about the center, go in and just take a blanket stitch. And you want to stitch out a little bit of an arch, so each one gets a little bit bigger. And now the next two will be a little bit smaller. And then I'll end here. And that's how I do the scallop. Now this first space is a little bit big, so I might just come back and put one more stitch there, because if I had made it smaller, I wouldn't have to do that, but it just balances out a little bit. And then just go on to start the next one. I'll just bounce back over here. Should we do one more? I'm gonna make it a little smaller. You could take a dime and lay a dime on there probably and trace around it, but you know, tracing on wool doesn't always give you a real crisp line. So I just visually put the arch into it. And there we have the second one done. So that's how that scallop is created. Also in your direction, this is just a little highlight line that she has stitched inside the opening. And the directions, it says in the directions on your stitching chart to add that. So those are just a couple tidbits to help you with your project. I hope you enjoy your package when it arrives this week. Have fun.